Hey motorsports fans, this is Jason Berry with Norcal Karters, and a few months ago we did a quick little video on what is a KZ kart, and we did a walk around. You can find that on the Norcal Karters channel on YouTube. But today we have the owner right there, the owner, John Acampora. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really excited. I newly acquired this pre-owned KZ with a Birel chassis, and I'm excited to drive it.
So we're going to get you out on the track today. You're going to go break this thing in.
Yeah.
You're going to go break yourself in. So give our watchers just a quick background on yourself and what drew you to the shifter kart as your kart of choice, and let's go from there.
Well, I grew up in the 80s, 90s. I don't want to time stamp myself too much, but shifter karts has always been in my blood. I just love them. I grew up in SoCal, a lot of time at Adams Kart Track. If you're a SoCal person, you'll understand the significance of Adams Kart Track. It's a famous place in the karting world. And so a lot of us grew up there. In fact, two of my friends who would have careers in IndyCar to a certain degree, we raced there. And so I've driven shifter karts all of my life, and then I was in the market to get a kart. I didn't want to get a brand new one. I'm really doing this for training. I race some vintage cars, so that's really what I do with the karting. But I don't know, the thought of maybe coming back to racing in karts again, it's sort of out there. I'm kind of an old fart now. But we're using this kart for training purposely. I mean, that's the purpose of it. And so we're kind of interested to see if this is going to turn out to be a good kart for what I'm trying to achieve.
Very good. So you're looking forward to some track time, conditioning for your big track cars.
Oh yeah, I mean, shifter karts, a lot of top drivers, they still train with shifter karts. They're very demanding to drive, and so it's a great training ground.
Perfect. Well, let's not waste too much time today. Let's get you on the track, and stay tuned for more updates from John Acampora.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully it goes well.
And thanks for tuning in. All right, we are getting ready for the maiden voyage for John Acampora here at Prairie City Kart Track.
Actually, Jason, I think I should do this.
Let's
hope I don't crash.
Cross the fingers.
Yeah, keep it off the...
Well, I keep it out of the barrier for the first session and the last session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are the two sessions that are important.
I like that attitude. During the day, you can fix it.
So we have our supermodel kart pusher here. There he goes for his voyage out on Prairie City Kart Track. Stay tuned for more updates from John Acampora. Hi, I'm Jason Berry. I'm with Norcal Karters and ExtraKartParts.com. I have two businesses focused on karting. Norcal Karters, the shirt I'm wearing now, I help clubs and teams promote themselves to help grow the sport. And my primary business, ExtraKartParts.com, that's where John comes in. And that business is focused on karting services, buying and selling karting equipment, doing track days. So basically the service and parts side of karting. So John?
Well, it was, we were showing that we were driving my newly acquired KZ go-kart, and I'm new to NorCal, so I was, well, I grew up in SoCal, and now I've been living in Nevada, but the last 2 years of my life I was kind of back and forth, so I was in SoCal, and wanting to do karting up here, so a friend recommended that I talk to Jason. And it's a funny story because I called him up, I kind of said who I was, and I, CR Speed, my business, is also in the motorsports business, but in the logistics area of it. And I was giving Jason my resume because I wanted him to think about taking me on, and I race vintage cars. And he said, great, well, let me call you back. And then I think, a couple of weeks, I might have called again. And I said, hey, so what do you think? What do you think about taking me on as a driver client? Is that what you call this relationship? Driver client or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Driver mechanic, not too much coaching on this particular job, but yeah, definitely mechanic, storage.
Yeah, Jason offers mechanic services, storage, tuner, because we've been tune the cart and all that.
Comfort.
And,
karting ergonomics.
Yeah.
To make it comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So a little bit more on my background. I pretty much do everything in karting. Believe it or not, from announcing, I have a podcast. Again, that's more the NorCal side of things, promoting the sport of karting, all the way down to buying and selling racing carts, parting them out. That's my primary focus right now, is parting out the carts. And John here gives me a hard time because I was pretty indecisive on bringing him on board as a client, because my focus was kind of staying away from the bigger complete cart packages because they take up so much room, and focusing on buying the carts and parting every part out of it like a dismantler. But him and I started talking, and it's like, all right, I think we will work well together. It fits into my program. I have multiple locations as far as for storage and track support. I was like, yeah, let's give this a shot. But and here we are now, doing videos together, talking to each other back and forth on different ideas of, one, how to grow our own personal brands, how to grow our businesses within karting and motorsports, but then also bringing value to the racer. I mean, that's what Norcal Karters is. It's grow the sport, bring value to people looking at getting into the sport, and the more we talk, the more ideas we keep coming up with. Yeah,
no, I agree. And I'll have to say the culture of NorCal karting, it's a lot bigger than I would have thought, because growing up in SoCal, it was pretty good culture of karting down there. But I mean, NorCal is easily as big, maybe even bigger, really. And I'm really having a great time because we've been to Blue Max karting
out in Davis, California.
Out in Davis, we've now done Prairie City.
Yep.
And then I hope to do Sonoma eventually.
Yeah, I was trying to get you out there last week, but but you wanted to do the historics at Monterey.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go see my friends. It's been a few years since I've been down there, so and then and even Nevada, it's only 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
So instead, I do actually have track time on Stead.
Yeah.
I actually took a pretty good wipeout on So,
Yeah, so John and I, we're both based in Sacramento. So
Yeah.
you're north of it, I'm south of it. Prairie City and Davis, the Blue Max Kart Club, those are both pretty centralized for the two of us. But yeah, if you want to go 2.5 hours from Sacramento, you have Blue Max in Davis, you have Kinsman Kart Club in Dixon, you have Stockton at the fairgrounds, the San Joaquin Fairgrounds. This video right here is being recorded at the Prairie City Kart Track, just east of Sacramento. We have Sonoma. We have Redding.
Yeah.
You already mentioned the Reno track. I mean,
Yeah.
that place is fantastic.
Yeah.
So a lot of great tracks just within a couple hours drive from Sacramento.
Would you say that Prairie City is your base track?
I would, yes. Every few years, my home tracks change for different reasons. When I first started karting, Kinsman Kart Club in Dixon, that was my home track for years. That's where my dad and I, where we would go race, and I was a one club wonder until I started doing more regional stuff. But that was my home track. And then more recently, about 6-7 years ago, my buddy Patrick got me back involved as a driver at the Blue Max Kart Club running 4-stroke stuff. And that became my default home track for 3-4 years. And then now expanding the extra kart parts business. Coming out to Prairie City, Donald Durbin is doing a fantastic job with just the I don't want to say excitement, environment. There's another word I'm looking for. That Donald's done a really good job, and it's fun. I mean, we're sitting here on a Friday. There's people out on the track, but it's not overwhelming like a weekend. So we're able to get your laps in, hammer down, burn through a couple tanks of gas, and then get on our way before 5 o'clock. So that part's really nice about Prairie City. Plus the opportunity to have the ability to use the track on Thursdays, Fridays, and Mondays, not on the weekends, being able to bring guys like you out here. So I would say, yeah, Prairie City is probably my home-based track now.
Yeah.
And so it changes. It changes every couple of years based on what's going on in karting. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's. I'm glad Jason. It took a while to convince him. I'm glad he took me on. I hear you're actually, at least in the day, you were a good driver.
I was okay.
You were a pretty good shoe. You won some kind of championship or something.
Yeah, I did okay. Yeah, I have the claim of fame of beating Gary Carlton in the Kinsman Kart Club shifter class. That's right, Gary Carlton
I'm
of
sure
GFC.
you can go out there and Google that.
You can Google that. Thank God that was before my laps, so no one knows the true story behind why I won that championship. But every once in a while, I give Gary a hard time about that, and he goes, "What? We raced?"
Yeah. Well, I actually have a funny story in my karting days back at Imago, which Imago doesn't exist anymore. It was near Temecula.
I don't think so. Yeah, unless it's a different name.
And I was always kind of a guy that ran third, fourth. You know, they saw potential in me, but I wasn't. You know, I really wasn't there.
You're not the guy.
Yeah, I wasn't the guy. But a funniest story was growing up. You know, I watched Indy cars and Formula 1 of that era, and Roberto Guerrero.
Yes.
You remember Roberto Guerrero?
True value.
And his claim to fame is he's on the pole in one of the Indies, right? Was it the Porsche? I think it was the Porsche car.
I'm not.
The Quaker State.
I'm not. Was it Quaker State?
So, and one of the times I'm in Monterey, we're in Starbucks, and I'm with the team that I was working for at the time, and they're in Starbucks. Is Roberto Guerrero, Davy Jones is there, you know, a couple of guys, and my friend goes, "Man, I always remember when you spun on the pace lap of the Indy 500. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't say, you know, the guy's like, and he had the greatest comeback. He just says, yeah, everybody remembers that.
Yeah.
You know?
One car in trouble. The 36 car, unbelievable. Roberto Guerrero, the pole sitter, in trouble.
We're going to see him on the middle of the screen there. Absolutely inexplicable.
The only thing that one might consider, Bobby indicated to us, Bobby Unser, how cold it is, and because of that, look, the car is damaged.
But I had a Roberto Guerrero at Imago. I had my first pole, and same thing. I'm coming around, and I loop it, and I think I finished fourth in that race. But yeah, that was my day.
That's what I love about karting and racing, though, in general. It's such a small community.
Yeah.
And there's those stories all over the place about you're running with somebody at the higher levels, and these funny stories. I remember one year at Supernats, Ari Landyke Sr. was under one of the tents because his son Ari Jr. was racing.
Yeah.
And we walked into the trail. I was with Ari helping him out with engine tuning when I worked for Swede Tech. And so I'm talking to Ari, and then I see Ari Sr., and I'm starstruck because he was always one of my favorite drivers in IndyCar when I was a kid. And this is probably 10 years ago. So at the time, I was in my mid-30s, and I remember making the comment to Ari Landyke Sr., looking pretty much about the same, and a guy in his 30s, 40s, saying, man, when I was a kid, you were one of my favorites. And I realized when I said it, I basically aged Ari Landyke Sr. because I saw the look on his face of like, oh yeah, I was like, oh great, here's another old guy coming up to me. He's like, oh, when I was a kid, you were my favorite. But I love those stories.
Yeah.
From the racing days.
Well, that's a lot of the fun part about racing is the people you meet.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine that's with every sport, whether it's golf or I mean, now that I moved here, I didn't even tell you that I am going to start playing golf.
Nice.
In fact, I have a lesson tomorrow.
Yeah. That's the one sport that I'm pretty sure I'm a natural at golf, but I avoid it because you're not playing anybody but yourself.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like I already have too many addictive things. It's like, oh, got to do better. And for me personally, I don't know if it's going to be relaxing. Walking around and enjoying the outdoors.
Well, when I used to play with my pops, it was the same thing. I got so frustrated. Like, like, this is not relaxing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now, driving a go-kart is relaxing because all you focus on is your driving. Things are happening so fast. Not to say big, now I'm going into my culture of vintage racing. And I would work around some guys that were, very wealthy. Well, they had businesses and they have a lot going on.
It's motorsports, right?
It's motorsports. Yeah, we all know it's a rich man's sport,
Yeah.
Sort of.
I
mean, some of us get by.
Somehow,
I don't know how we get by.
We just peasants around.
I make it.
We offer services.
Yeah. But but what I always tell people is, because they're used to getting like 20 things happening to them at once. And that was the one calming thing, because you put them in a high horsepower car and that's all they can concentrate on. They can't, and I've had clients that, they're still trying to conduct business. They're on their phones and so forth. And I'm like, hey, you need to put that away, because that's a beast you're driving. You need to concentrate. But usually as soon as they put on the belts, they concentrate. And that's like with the shifter cart. That's why everybody's kind of said, hey, John, you're kind of getting old. Why not go to something smaller?
Yeah.
I won't give up the shifter cart quite yet.
Yeah, I've talked to countless people that have all said the same thing. Once the helmet's on, everything in life disappears. Like that's it's almost your quiet place.
No, I totally I come to the track and I'm just de-stressed.
Yeah, because you've had a lot of stuff going on away from the track, and it's like, hey, do you want to go to the track this week? And I've had a lot of stuff in the shop building up. So I know John and we've talked about, hey, we're going to go to the track once a week. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're planning on. And jobs started stacking up for me. It's like, and I'd call him and say, hey, are we going out Friday? And John was back and forth. I really need to get out there for my mental day. I need to get out there. And then I would just politely say, hey, if you need to postpone or cancel, I don't mind. And a couple of weeks went by, and I could tell by that second or third week, you were just like,
oh, yeah.
I need to get my cart. I need to blow off some steam. And
yeah, it is a great way to blow off steam.
It is a great way to blow off steam.
I definitely recommend karting over, street racing or any of those things.
Yeah.
Definitely you know.
Well, you talked to my buddy Jason today, and I'm always bugging him about his cars. Hey, when are you gonna let me drive it? But now it's just kind of a shtick.
Yeah.
Because what am I gonna do with a supercar on the street?
Yeah.
I can jump into any shifter cart out here.
Yeah.
And so what am I going to do on the street in a supercar that I can't do at the racetrack in a shifter cart, which performance-wise, you know,
need to bring
pound for pound is going to be better.
Guys, and I'm surprised that has anybody ever done that? Like, compare the G's of a
it's been done a few times.
Yeah.
On a couple of my podcasts that I've done, I've had a couple of guests that have raced, pretty high up, at that Porsche Cup level, etc., or Formula Atlantics, and all of them have raced shifter carts, and pretty much all of them have says you need to get pretty high in a racing world to emulate the sense of speed of a shifter cart.
Yeah.
And it's like, and after that, it's like, okay, why would I? One, I don't have millions of dollars to go blow racing, and then two, now I just don't have the desire. Why?
Yeah.
I could drop $5,000 on a decent used shifter cart.
Yeah.
Go out there and go knock my socks off.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really a lot of bang for the buck.
Yeah, and you have sports cars, and here you are, out in your shifter cart.
Yeah.
Jason Berry here with Norcal Karters. If you're enjoying any of our videos and you want to be updated, take a quick moment, hit like and subscribe, and this will help us keep more content coming to you. So example, upcoming episode, we're going to have my buddy John Acampora on, and he's going to talk about 3-second seat belts. So if you want to hear more content like this, like, subscribe, and share the channel. Thank you.